Egypt. Now, the 32nd edition of the Total Africa Cup of Nations is all set to take off tomorrow at Cairo, Egypt, with the host nation taking on Zimbabwe in a Group A opener. We're all looking forward to the opening. Almost all the teams have arrived at the North African nation, Egypt, but the Black Stars of Ghana are expected there today. My colleague Benedict Owusu is with the team and joins us via Skype. Benedict, good to see you. Is everything set? Everything is set for tomorrow?
Well, by God's grace, I'm fine and everything is set for tomorrow. As you mentioned, the Africa Cup of Nations, this year's edition is starting tomorrow. This shouldn't have been, the place for this year's competition. If you remember very well, some time back, Cameroon had issues with the Confederation of African Football. They failed to meet the requirements to host their tournaments, and then CAF stripped off the hosting rights from them. At that point, they were looking for a country that was going to host. It was between South Africa and Egypt, and eventually Egypt decided to host the tournament, and CAF also gave the nod to Egypt, which was like 5 months ago. Last month was a draw, and here we are today. We are talking about the Nations Cup starting tomorrow with the first game, as you mentioned, between host nation Egypt and Zimbabwe, which will be at the Cairo International Stadium.
So what time is Ghana's team expected in Cairo? Because I'm told you are yet to arrive in Cairo.
Well, I am actually in Ismailia now. I arrived yesterday in Cairo from Dubai, where the team have been camping. And for the team, their itinerary, this is how it's going to go. They will actually train later today. Which, of course, by now they are training because it's 4 hours difference between Ghana and Dubai. After which they will leave for the airport flight to Cairo. There is no airport here in Ismaili, so what it means is that they would have to come to Ismaili by bus from Cairo, which is like 1 hour 30 minutes. So I understand by 11 they should be here for the official CAF meeting where they'll be taking pictures for the official ceremony. There is a team meeting for every nation. So when you arrive, what they do is the Confederation of African Football will come to your hotel, will take the players through what to expect this tournament, the regulations and all that, everything regarding the competition. And for the Black Stars, they will also be taking through tomorrow. So when they arrive, that's tomorrow, they will be taking through that before their first game, which will be on the 25th. So where I'm standing currently, it's not that far from where they will be playing their first game against Benin, which will be on the 25th.
But you've been with the team during preparations and all in Dubai all the way to Egypt when they arrive. What's the kind of morale in camp? Are you confident from the talk that you hear? Are we confident that this time around at least we'll be able to bring the cup home?
Well, Asamoah Gyan, who is general captain of the team, and Kwesi Appiah, who is coach of the team, both mentioned to me that for the very first time, they've had a very peaceful campaign and that they are very confident. And just to quote Coach Kwesi Appiah, he mentioned that he's very confident in his team and with what they've done in the past 2 weeks. He believes that this year we should expect something big from them. Asamoah Gyan also believes that he's one of the experienced players. This is going to be his 7th Africa Cup of Nations. Captain Andrew Ayew is also in there. It's going to be his 6th Nations Cup. We have the likes of Mubarak Wakasu, Thomas Partey, Christian Achu, who was MVP, most valuable player at the 2015 edition of the tournament. And with all these players and the crop of young boys put together, Jan believes that they'll do very well. On the international stage, we don't really hear or read about Ghana as favorites. Unlike previously when we are going for competitions, we hear people talk about Ghana as favorites. It's back home that there is pressure on the team to win the long route. Of course, the last time we won the tournament was 37 years, and that puts a lot of pressure on the team. But on the international stage, no one is talking about Ghana as favorites, and they really like that coming into this championship. But of course, they mentioned that coming into almost going into every championship when they attack as favorites, it weighs on them. But this time, where people are not really talking much about Ghana favorites, and it's just those of us from Ghana that we are giving them pressure to win the Nations Cup. They feel that they can do very well, and they've had the best of preparations. Mind you, going to Dubai was very good because since I arrived in Cairo, if you can see from the background, it's almost 6 o'clock here, but the sun is on and it's very scorchy. So, being in Dubai, training under almost 45 degrees Celsius and coming here around the same time that they'll be playing their games, which is close to 40 degrees, then of course, I mean, they took the right decision to go to Dubai. So in terms of the team, with what I saw in training and also what I saw in their game against South Africa, I think we can only be hopeful of something big from this team.
But what can we say about the other teams that have already arrived? I'm sure whilst you've been there, you've been checking on them as well. What can you say about the other teams?
Where I am currently was a place where Senegal actually, pitched camp before leaving for their base in Alexandria. Also, our opponent, one of our group opponents, Guinea, will be in the same hotel with the Black Stars. I had the opportunity to watch their training when I arrived, and boy, I mean, now we talk about loneliness in African football, and it's like that. So when, let's say, Ghana is going to play against Benin or Ghana is going to play against Guinea-Bissau, and you sit somewhere and you think that because of our pedigree over the years in African football, we'll just override these countries, and then I must tell you that you are kidding yourself, because, I mean, all of them are very, very much prepared, and they are looking forward to making a huge impact in this year's competition. Even Burundi, that have made their very first appearance at the tournament, as well as Zimbabwe, all of them are much, much prepared. I mean, today we were talking about Egypt, Zimbabwe, and one Egyptian journalist was telling me how he feels it won't be that easy for them, although they will be playing in front of that massive crowd at the Cairo International Stadium. He had the opportunity to watch Zimbabwe in the qualifiers, and the kind of game they exhibited is one that if they don't really take care and put their A game on, Zimbabwe can shock them tomorrow. So all the teams are prepared, and for the very first time, we're going to have 24 teams participate in a competition. It has never happened in any CAF organized or in any Africa Cup of Nations since it started. This is going to be the first time we are having 24 teams, and all the teams, with what I've been reading and the few teams that I've been able to check on them, all of them are ready for this year's championship.
But just before we let you off, Benedict, have you been able to get a hint of what the opening ceremony would look like? That's what we are all looking forward to.
Well, so yesterday I had the opportunity to, be at the Cairo International Stadium, and the setup alone will blow your mind. I don't know if you watched the draw. We saw some amazing scenes during the draw. It was very colorful. And yesterday when I entered the Cairo International Stadium, a stadium that, looked very horrible some years back. Now we go there and it looks very colorful, it looks very nice, and what they have on paper, I don't need to tell you. You just have to watch out tomorrow, God willing. It will be amazing, it will be lovely. And of course, that will be after what we are all waiting to see, a big game between Egypt, the host, and Zimbabwe.
We'll definitely get to you again before that opening ceremony. Benedict Owusu, we are grateful. Stay safe, though. And that's Benedict Owusu. If you leave Benedict, he would speak the whole time. And but I have in the studios also with me our formidable sports team here at Multimedia, Baba Tando, and of course, Ridwan Ibrahim Asante. No strangers to the screen at all. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
We are ready. Okay, so I'll start with Baba. Baba, I will talk about our coverage as Multimedia because we're all looking forward to it. But you are interacting with these sports people all the time. You know what's happening in Black Stars and everything. Are we ready as a team for this tournament?
Well, if I tell you what, if we were not ready, we wouldn't be in Egypt to begin with. Okay. I mean, once we've gone for our 3-week
we're not there by chance.
No, we're not. Okay, we're not there. We played qualifiers, we qualified, went to our training tour in Dubai for 3 weeks, acclimatized, did whatever we had to do, went into Egypt today, and I think we're not there by chance. And there's a lot to look ahead to for this tournament, and so if you're not ready, you have no business being there. Yeah.
But Ridwan, which team are we to look out for in this tournament? Because you've heard Benedict say that the Black Stars is not the favorite in this tournament, but which team for you are we supposed to be looking out for?
I think we have a tall list of teams that are capable of winning the tournament this time around. The timing, I think everybody can win. The big boys can win. The timing is great, and people have talked about previous experiences whereby countries like Senegal, Morocco, Algeria have come in with big pre-tournament reputations, but when the tournament got underway, they they wilted, you know, as it were. But this time around, it's been played in June, off season, where people, you know, do not have issues with club and country. You know, previously we didn't know if players were going to come. The players were complaining that we needed to stay with our clubs. If we got injured, there's the clubs that are going to pay the pressure on them, the fans needing them. It's like you turning your back, you know, against the club when they needed you most, especially in January. And now it's in June, July, where there's no season in session, and you can see that there's a variety of matches, international tournaments. There's the Women's World Cup, there's the Copa America, there's the CONCACAF Gold Cup also taking place, and now we have the African Champions League also taking place. The African Cup of Nations taking place. So it's now, you know, free. There's the freedom of expression. People are willing to come and play, and that will make a key difference. So unlike previous tournaments where we say, yes, it's the Nigerians or the Senegalese or it's the Moroccans, you know, don't be surprised if Burundi, you know, pull a major upset in Group B, where they are in the same group with Nigeria, and they'll play Nigeria on Saturday in that opening game. So it's going to be huge, and it's going to be, you know, very, very impactful. Everybody wants to make a case, and nobody signs players in January. This time around, it's in June, July. The transfer window is on. Okay. If he plays well, he's going to get, you know, a major tournament. And the Nations Cup is starting where the FIFA World Cup is also just dovetailing. You know, when you have the FIFA Women's World Cup just going into the quarters and the knockout stages, the Nations Cup is about to start, and it will end when all the rest of the tournaments have ended. So seeing quality,
all eyes will be on,
you know, and Africa and Europe, just a 2-hour difference in terms of the Greenwich meridian, so they can watch. There's a big TV coverage, you know, being, you know, BT, Sky, you know, all the major, you know, networks in Europe will be following this one, and that makes it, you know, keener, and I think it's going to be different from the previous Nations Cup we've seen.
Now let's talk about our coverage, our readiness as multimedia for all 52 games. I know you have a plan for that, and I have a beautiful picture. Oh, finally, I now understand why you were in the black and white, and that's the team for our coverage.
That's part of the team.
Part of the team. Yeah. Okay, so because George Adu Jr. is not there,
there's Gary, there's Hans,
Hans Mensah, so that's our live commentary, AFCON Diaries, highlights, and all the news coverage. These are the men and women that will be doing that. Woman, I should say. So what's the plan? What's our coverage? 52 games. What's the plan for them? Okay,
so you know that this is going to be a very historic AFCON tournament, starting with, you know, the expansion from 16 to 24 teams, and then the fact that it was Cameroon that were supposed to host, and then for, you know, their lack of preparedness, they had to, you know, last minute change, you know, hosts and give it to Egypt. And so everything about this AFCON is going to be historic, and so will our coverage also here on the multimedia, all multimedia platforms. So you're talking about Joy FM, you're talking about JoyNews on Multi TV, Joy Prime, you're talking about Asempa FM, you're talking about Adom FM, you're talking about Inshira FM and Love FM. Every one of the platforms is catered for. We have our men who are already stationed in Egypt. You already spoke with Benedict, and the rest of the crew will be joining him before kickoff tomorrow. And so we have spread our tentacles wide. We're giving you live commentary, and you know, when George and Gary or Hans or Redwan are behind the commentary box, you know what to expect. I don't need to talk much, you know. Your best bet is for the multimedia team. And at 6 p.m. today, I must say that we're doing our live online launch of our coverage. Yeah, so this is just a tip of the iceberg for you, and the picture that you saw was just a tip of the iceberg for you. So at 6 p.m. exactly, we're going live with our launch.
You're competing with Newsnight.
I'm sorry, but I mean, you can watch you can look on your phone or on your tablet and still listen to the radio. Yes, you listen to MFI and Evans on the radio. So I mean, at 6 p.m. we're going live with our online launch. I mean, the other ones have been done already. We've done some on Pulse, some on the AM show, and all of that. And so I mean, you're getting up to the minute updates. You're getting behind the scenes exclusives. You are getting all the news from all the juicy stuff from all the 24 teams who are there. Because like I said, we have our men all over the place, and so there's nothing that you miss out on. I mean, we'll give you the extras that you not get from anywhere else. So I mean, I don't see why if you don't listen to multimedia, if you don't watch the multi-TV digibox, watch JoyNews, Joy Prime, waiting you game. I mean, we are your best bet. You can't put your money anywhere else.
Of course, and Ridwan and the team would be giving us live commentary, but it looks like radio is covered. But how about TV? Because you are not going to get live coverage of the matches.
Don't worry about TV.
What do you have?
So you know the plan for JoyNews is actually like a news channel. I mean, we have our programming which is like sorted. It doesn't mean that we also have to be we have to prevent, or we don't have to cover up for our audience. So what we are doing is we have live updates.
Okay.
Once the matches are ongoing, you have the live updates on TV, so you can get to watch your news file. Somebody was asking me, so really, are you guys going to take off news file? I said, no, don't worry. We'll give you twice the dose that you want. You'll be watching your news file and you still be getting your updates live on the TV. And there are other platforms also that you can check out on. Adum TV, you are sorted. You're going to get the live pictures there. And then on Joy Prime, you're also going to get live updates. I mean, every now and then you're going to get the highlights. Like I said, we're giving you what other people will not give you. You know, sometimes it's not even about watching the live match. It's about what the cameras are not picking. It's about what you're not seeing. It's about what you're not hearing. And that is where we come in. You're getting all of that on Joy Prime. So for instance, today I started Soccer Rocks. And you know Soccer Rocks, it's just the ladies talking about the tournament in their own way. We've started that one. The Sports Now on Joy Prime, which will also look at the other fun bits of the tournament. We have Scoreboard on Joy News already. We have Fan Zone, we have the AFCON diaries. Look, we have so many programs surrounding the AFCON that, I mean, it looks more like we are overfeeding our audience.
No,
but
you're not. We want more.
That is what we are best known for. And so everyone is covered. TV, don't worry, you have no problem.
So it's TV, radio, online.
Of course.
You are not left out of any. But let's talk about the Black Stars, Ridwan, because most of us are worried. It's been, what, 37 years?
I wasn't even born.
Okay, I think I was born. Just about being born. So, Black Stars, Ridwan, does it look good?
Before kickoff, I think we all starting, you know, with the same energy and verve. It's only when the tournament is underway and you play your first match, then you really get to test your battle readiness. But for now, there was no team that went, you know, holidaying. We don't have revelers, you know, at the Nations Cup. We've got serious teams making it. Zimbabwe intensified their efforts. Burundi, Mauritania, Madagascar, new debutants at the Nations Cup. And we shouldn't forget that in the history of the Nations Cup, only 14 countries have won it. Egypt have won more, seven times. And they are chasing a record, extending 8th. And that should tell you that, yes, out of how many African countries, is it 54, 52 African countries, only 14 have won it in the history, just like the World Cup. It's just the old, you know, names that's come in, but things have changed. We've expanded, you know, the Nations Cup. We've changed the timing of the Nations Cup, and that's going to be the key factor. You know, the differentiators are a lot. And it will bring something new, you know, to the game. So back to whether the Black Stars are ready.
The team that we are taking.
It doesn't. I've said that based on whatever you want to talk about. If you want to talk about Nations Cup and the quality of players assembled, then Zambia wouldn't have, you know, won the Nations Cup. You know, then
that was a shock.
That was a big one indeed. You know, nobody expected them to come in. They didn't have the Premier League players, and Benedict was saying that the international media are writing off Ghana simply because those times we had players playing in the EPL. You know, players making impact in Europe, big time players. But who is now our key player in Europe? As we talk, we don't have, you know, a key Ghanaian player, you know, who is doing so well. Kuja Asamoah was playing consistently for Inter, but Inter are struggling themselves. In England, who is a key Ghanaian player, you know,
Jordan,
playing. Jordan, I mean, scored just a goal in how many matches? 4 or 5 matches. That's not simply good enough, you know, for our top striker. So we don't have real men, if I can put it quote unquote, men, who are playing week in, week out, top flight football. It's only Thomas Partey.
Zambia didn't have players. Who knew Zambia?
That's I'm coming to the point. That's why I'm saying that if you're going to write off the Black Stars' chances, then look at what happened in 2013. Look at what also happened, in 2015, and look at what happened in 2017. Ivory Coast in 2015 didn't have the golden generation. The golden generation even didn't win the Nations Cup. It was later on what they brought the likes of Wilfred Conan, Eric Bailly. I mean, nobody knew Eric Bailly. When Yaya was only the key man in there, and then Gavinho was there, and then Salomon Kalou. But Ivory Coast used to have the likes of Aruna Dindane, Bonaventure Kalou, and Salomon Kalou, and all the top notch players. Seydou Doumbia, who was in top form in Russia at that time, but they didn't win. It happened to Zambia. Zambia also didn't have big name players in Europe. They won. Nigeria in 2013. They came in with a lot of, let's say, not the top-notch players Nigeria, have had in years to come.
But they were
then, and even it was, a local boy, who scored that winning goal for them in the final to ensure that they beat Paul Putz and Burkina Faso in the final. And even Burkina, the time that they played in the final, nobody gave them the Dogs chance. So let's wait. Let's play our first match
against Benin.
And Benin are not joking.
When is that first match?
On Tuesday.
Yeah.
And don't forget, there's a prophetess in Benin.
Benin who is saying Benin is winning the tournament.
Is winning the tournament.
And so I'll go with the prophetess.
That's Octopus Paulina.
I think I'll go with the
That's
prophetess.
Octopus Paulina.
So let's see.
This is Benin we are talking about.
Yes, they are capable of doing it.
This is Benin doing anything. But let's go on the phone lines now and speak to a seasoned sports journalist, Eko Asma. We're grateful for your time here on the post. Should we be cautious in our expectation from the Black Stars?
Well, thank you very much. As I heard before, the Normalization Committee president has said that spiritually we are the one for the AFCON trophy. So I don't know if that we can set much store by that. But really, yeah, we need to be cautious in our opening encounter because we'll be playing the defending champions right after Benin. So we need to, at the very least, get a draw. But we need to put our best foot forward by recording a draw, a win against Benin.
It looks like you're not really worried about Benin. Is that the other game that you're worried about? Is that the case?
No. You have to win your first match. At the very least, draw. Because if you look past an opponent, then that's the opportunity for the opponent to spring a surprise. You have to respect your opposition in order to be able to beat them. If you look past them, then they will surprise you. So we really have to play Benin like we're playing the World Cup final.
But you're talking about putting our best foot forward. But the concern is that do we even have the best foots in there?
Yeah, I was not too pleased with the level of our preparations because you would think that we're going to be playing a West African opponent. You would think in the run-up to the championship proper, we'll play friendlies against a West African nation. Rather, we played South Africa and Namibia down south. So I don't get the logic. And then I would think that the last time Ghana won in '82, prior to that, the team had been given proper preparation by at least participating in a tournament, which they won, the SCSA. This time it didn't happen. So I'm not pleased with the best of preparation sporting-wise, but it will come down to Kwesi Appiah. If he's good enough, he should be able to account for Benin.
I don't know about your betting history, though, but if I give you money to bet, which teams are you going to put that money on in this tournament?
How much money and in what currency?
I won't tell you, but just bet for me.
Which team would win the trophy?
At least your best teams in this tournament, and then who wins?
It looks like Heavy Renard again. He tends to win every other tournament. He won in 2012. Won in 2015. So if we're supposed to go by that pattern, then it's his turn again. Heavy Renard, Morocco.
Apart from Morocco?
Apart from Morocco,
Ghana.
Baba, wait.
Don't know about Ghana, but probably Tunisia It's got to be a North African country, I think.
I won't give you the money again because you are not even mentioning Ghana. You are not even confident. You are not patriotic at all, Eko.
Oh, you see, you don't want me to be realistic.
You said about being idealistic or realistic.
Oh, so no realism here.
So we don't have a chance at all.
No, we do have some underrated players, but if Kwesiapia would use them at the right positions, then Ghana can go far. Yes, but so far he has not indicated that he wants to play certain players in the right position. Two players spring to mind: Khalid Ekuban and Thomas Partey. He's underutilizing Thomas Partey, and if he continues to underutilize Thomas Partey by deploying him in the defensive midfield, then he shortchanges the team. Partey should be playing up front, but since we cannot dictate to the coach and he's set in his ways, unless he's going to spring a surprise and play Partey up front. Both Partey and Ekuban have demonstrated that they can score the goal. And yet, so far in the two friendlies, he's not deploying Partey in the advanced positions, trying to accommodate all the other senior players. If he goes by seniority, then we won't go far. However, if he's bold enough to use players that are on current form can help Ghana, yes, I foresee Ghana going far.
Okay, we hope that Kwesiapia would listen. Thank you so much for your time. Eko Asma there. He's a sports journalist and he's betting on Morocco, Tunisia, and maybe Gambia.
I have a slight concern. Our AFCON preparations, I mean, putting the team together from naming
captains and
substantive captain to general captain to what. One issue has stood out for me, and this issue is not new. I mean, we've seen it happen in previous major tournaments that Ghana have been to. What is wrong with authorities who are concerned in putting out our budgets? What really?
Still not out.
You know what? They are always clandestine about this. I simply do not get it. If it is that we are not entitled to it and so we don't have to know, put it out there. It is classified information. You do not have to know. But my money, his money, your money are going into paying the team, are going into taking care of the team from preparation right down to when the tournament is done. I want to know what is wrong with it. Do you have to be held before the Parliamentary Select Committee of Sports before you put out the budget? Why won't you make it public? I mean, I really want to understand. Sports Minister Honorable Isaac Isiama, his Deputy Perry Okujeto, to the Normalization Committee, to the Parliamentary Select Committee people who know about this. What prevents them from putting out the budget? But I mean,
no, what is preventing them is the hypocrisy. I think,
on whose side?
No, everybody. I mean, the previous we made it look as if budgets were. Figures were ballooned so that people at the FA could, benefit and then line their pockets with watts of or dollars of CDs. And so
it always ends up being the case though.
And now that the FA is not there, they are going to quote, and the amount that we are hearing
is far
more. So what would be the So what would be the justification? You see,
what are you hearing?
Being truthful. I'm saying that.
So if I've heard 8 million, I've heard $8 million.
I don't want to care about the amount because I'm realistic. I am realistic because, you see, we have issues in this country. When loans are given, even outside socio-political issues, building a house in Ghana, you see 2-bedroom classroom block or 4-classroom block, and you hear the amount is so huge. And you say the same amount of money was given to a country like Egypt or Cameroon, and it built there maybe
more than a classroom.
But you see, it's about the basket of goods and services that the money here can buy. So when we do the budgeting here for players, and things previously they said, the FA said laundry will cost
maybe $50,000,
and the people are going to cut they have their share in the budget. Okay, so now, if you are doing the right thing, say we are going to use $1 million. The previous FA budgeted for $3 million. Now you know why? The budget has shot up and they don't know how to account for the difference. They don't know how to come out to tell Ghanaians, because if they drop the budget I'm telling you, everybody will see Kwesi Nyantakyi and his administration as saints. And that's what people don't want to do, because people are now going to scrutinize the budget and say, but you said these people were using, how much does a winner of the Nations Cup pocket?
4.5 now.
4.5.
We're using 8 million.
And we are going to get
alleged.
Okay.
Even if you're going to use $3 million, right, in doing this, what are other countries doing? When the issues of bonuses came up, they said Nigeria was paying less. Do you know how much the players are taking appearance fee this time?
$80,000.
I have to
already. The players have pocketed $20,000 already
from training camp.
From training camp.
But we should go in with a positive energy at this point.
You see, then previously,
when they come back,
previously, when the FA was saying, let's go in, forget about the budget, and then let's go into the Nations Cup for positivity. Let's be positive. We weren't. And we drew the effort. So
but
how
we're moving
then?
forward now.
You see,
they have the money. They should just deliver the trophy. Otherwise, we'll keep bashing them.
So much. I'm sure tomorrow we'll be here again before the opening ceremony.
Obviously,
please join me again tomorrow, and let's wrap up this discussion.
We'll see you.
And you need to be with the Joy Sports team on all our platforms. It's online, on radio, and on TV as well. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.